Hi, this is Barb Iverson again. Sorry I missed yesterday. It just kind of got too late for me, and I don't know, I was all tired and everything. But I don't know why I've been so nervous about doing this, because if anybody really knows me, I like to talk. And one thing that's really hard for me is when people interrupt me. And for some reason, well, because I stop, I'm like trying to think, and people seem to interrupt me whenever that happens. And well, so right now I've got a captive audience. So anyways, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about desire, because that's what this article is about. I'm assuming she's Muslim still, but this American-born girl, a 22-year-old, was kidnapped, actually, it sounds like, by her father when she was a young child, and grew up largely in Egypt. But her desire to live again in the United States and with her mother was so overwhelming, and she had such a passion for doing this. And now she's, with the help of some other organization, she's going to be able to start her own foundation where she can help other people that are victims of international abduction. But she had such a passion and such a desire to come back to the United States that she found all kinds of ways, with her mother's assistance, of learning English again, and without an accent and stuff like that, with the Madonna tapes and gosh, there are a couple others now that I can't remember. But anyways, I wanted to tell you a little bit about something that I desired a whole lot one time. This was back right after my accident. This was in 1984, and I was in the hospital at St. Mary's in Rochester, Minnesota. Sometime around July, latter part of July, I think, with the doctors, neurologists, psychiatrists, other kind of experts in the field at the Mayo Clinic, because Mayo Clinic staffs the Methodist Hospital and St. Mary's Hospital at Rochester. And they were talking about my case to my parents and some other nurses and things like that while I was sitting there right in the room, right? Okay, so they're talking about me, but I'm there, okay? Whatever. Anyways, they were telling my parents not to get too concerned or kind of trying to let them down easy, that it didn't look very likely that I would ever even return to Luther College, let alone graduate. Okay? So they were trying to let them down easy and trying to, I suppose, so that they wouldn't put too many expectations on me or something. Well, I was hearing this, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Not only am I going back to Luther, this is what I'm telling myself, okay? Not only am I going back to Luther College, I'm going to graduate with my class. Duh. Okay, well, so, and this is July, school starts again in September, and I'm, thinking, everything's fine, I'm going to go back in September. Well, as August kind of continued, August was turning into September, I kind of thought to myself, and I realized that, okay, Barb, you're not ready to go back. Okay, so I, told my parents, yeah, I understand I can't go back yet. So I stayed home with my parents, but what I did do, I couldn't drive yet, but what I did do was I enrolled at a local community college called Austin Community College at the time. It's now called Riverland Community College, I think, something like that. But that's beside the point. Anyway, so my mom had to drive me to class all the time whenever I had a class. So I enrolled in one college class because I knew that I had to keep my mind active, and I had also heard the specialists tell my parents again, tell somebody that whatever, as far as what they knew at the time, was that whatever 90% of whatever somebody with a brain injury is going to get back, they get back within the first 12 months. Well, now they've adjusted that to 18 months. But at that time, they thought 90% would be in the first 12 months. So I'm sitting here, it's July, and I realize that this happened in June, right? I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm losing time here. I gotta work. I got a lot of things I gotta do, because this thing ain't gonna affect me. Well, okay, I'll talk about that some other time. But so I thought, I'm losing time. I'm gonna get going here. So since I had already lost a month, since I realized I couldn't go back to Luther, unfortunately, I knew that I was on limited time, but I would make the most of that time. And taking at least one class, I thought, would help me. I think if I remember correctly, I kind of wanted to take two, but my mom and dad and whatever kind of convinced me that one was probably enough, and they're probably right. But so anyway, so I did take one class, a history class, and I got a B in it, which was pretty good, I thought, considering everything. I guess I wish I would have done better, but it is what it is. So anyway, so then in January, you're not really required to do a J term, but in January, my dad wanted to take us out to, or go with my mom and I out to California to visit his two sisters that live in Northern California and his one sister that lives in Idaho. Because he figured, got to take all those, take every opportunity that you can get to visit people. So we took a month-long trip out to California for my J term that year, and then I was anxious to get back because I was bound and determined to get back as soon as I could to Luther. Now looking back, of course, I'm not so sure it was the wisest thing to do, but again, that is what it is. And I also realized that I couldn't take a full load anymore. I could only be a part-time student. But I wanted to, because I didn't want to have to start paying back my student loans right away, I wanted to take as many credits as the minimum number of credits I needed to take so that I was so that I didn't have to pay back my student loans. So I took like 11 credits, I think was what I needed to take, and so I had 3 classes. I tell you, I worked so hard doing those 11 credits than I ever worked on a 16 load course before, or 16 credit semester before. And of course, certainly I didn't do quite as well, which really disappointed me. But I managed to survive the semester. Then I started to look at, because I was already a junior, right? And I wanted to graduate with my class. Well, so I only took one class during the fall semester, and that was even at a school that at the time was on quarters instead of semesters. So I think I'd taken a 4-credit class, and I only got 3 credits to transfer or something like that. Or it was a 3-credit, I only got 2, whatever, something like that. So, okay, you're supposed to get 16 about, and I only got 2 or 3. Okay, so that's way bad. Then I missed J term completely. Okay, so I'm way down, right? Then I'm only taking 11 credits. So, okay, I knew that I'm going to have to take summer school. I'm not looking forward to living in Decorah for the summer, but, you know, I got to do what I got to do, right? I have this passion, this desire to graduate with my class. That's what I'm going to do. Well, so I started looking at all the courses that they offered, and I also realized that, okay, I've got an awful lot of requirements for my liberal arts degree that I still have to finish. And so my timing, the classes, whatnot, is really going to be very critical. I'm going to have to take pretty much requirements the rest of the way. And that's, if I have to do, that's what I have to do. Well, I didn't really like anything they were offering for the summer classes, and nothing really fit any of the requirements that I needed. So I talked to one of the history professors who was teaching a summer class. I talked to him, and I worked out a deal that I could do an independent study with him. So that would fulfill some history credits, because I was a history major. So I got some of my requirements out of the way that way. Then I also took a language course by correspondence from the University of Wisconsin at Madison. And I just rushed through that as much. I mean, you have like a year or more to get it done, but I wanted to get it done that summer. You know, I had to get it done that summer. So that's what I did with that. So I was able to pick up like 6 credits, something like that, during the summer months. So that helped me out. Well, then it got down to my senior year. Boy, I'm making this really long. I'm just blabbing, I guess. Anyways, I managed to work out, get as many credits, whatever as I could, or as many requirements in as I could, still keeping around 12 or 13 credits. I think I had maybe up to 14, but I had to drop 1 credit. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was just way too much for me. So by dropping that 1 credit, and because of the 1 credit that didn't transfer or something like that, I still had 2 credits that I needed to finish, so that my student teaching semester, which I would have to do after I graduated, I needed like 18 credits instead of 16. So I had to do a J term too, but it was okay because I got to go to Mexico. That was awesome. So anyways, so I did whatever I had to do to be able to graduate with my class. J term, my senior year, I took the absolute worst class that you can take during a J term. J term is supposed to be kind of light and easy. You sometimes have people from different colleges that have classes, you know, they transfer or whatever, and it's really a fun time. You know, that you take 1 class and you pretty much don't have any homework really. You know, you take things like calligraphy. One of my friends took calligraphy one year, which is just handwriting, fancy handwriting, and you know, she didn't really have any homework. I mean, she could practice, but you know, you don't practice 8 hours a day, you know. So anyways, I took the worst class that you can take during J term. That Luther had a requirement, and one of the classes you could take during the semester, Or you could take it during J term. Semester, is 16 weeks, something like that, I think, and the J term is 4 weeks. But during J term, you still have about the same amount of work to do for that class, but you have it in all of 1 month. So in other words, I had to do an entire semester's worth of work in 1 month. But it was the only way that I could schedule it so I could still graduate with my class. And so that's what I did. I didn't have I barely had time to sleep. I barely had time to brush my teeth. I'm thinking back to it right now, and I'm remembering the horrors of that class. I was so swamped with work. But I wanted so badly to graduate with my class. It was the one thing that I desired more than anything else. And I knew that I had to do whatever it was that needed to be done that was required of me. Whatever was required of me to get that done. So my point is, anyways, is that joining Empower Network, and this kind of feeds into the other thing. I didn't really make my point very good the other day either about Empower Network being all about you, and it doesn't affect me. It's not going to affect Lisa Kidder or Tony Rush or David Wood or David Sharp or Felania Curtis or Jim Williams or Leanne Moore, Tia Amber, and I'm sorry for anybody else's name that I forgot. Okay, no offense, I'm just blabbing off the top of my head some names of friends of mine and whatnot. It's not going to affect any of them, whether or not you get started with Empower Network. The only person it's going to affect is you. Are you going to change your life? Are you going to become the leader that you want to become, the person that you can become? What is Tony Rush's famous quote? I just heard it. You need to become of value he says it much better, but becoming of value to people and service, providing a service to other people. That's what life is really all about, and that's what Empower Network is about, is becoming the types of people who are of value to other people. And I'm just telling you now, I'm just trying to give you an illustration about desire. One other thing, desire, when I first started a business, about 15 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't really realize I was starting a business. I was attracted by the money that the ad in the newspaper said. It was like, I was overworked at my job, underpaid, da 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 da. And I thought, I got to make more money here. Okay, well, it didn't work so well, to put it mildly. But now I'm losing track of my train of thought, I guess. Shoot. Well, this thing doesn't have a pause button. I checked that out already. Let's see, what desire and I guess the personal development, the becoming something. That's what Empower Network is about. This company wasn't anything about becoming, enriching yourself and learning more. The most valuable teachers that I've ever had, both professors or teachers in high school, are people that knew a lot, knew more beyond just their discipline, but knew a lot of things just in general about life and about schooling, things like that. A math teacher who still knew correct grammar and speaking and writing and things like that. And I'm trying to talk to you about, the desire. That's what it was. To get started with that was a lot more money than Empower Network. Like, I don't even know how to do that percentage things, but it was a lot more money. With Empower Network, you can start for $25. This thing was over 1,000, 1,200 something. Well, that was 15 years ago too, so it's a lot more money than that same amount of money is today. They illustrated to me that desire. Think of the person who is most important to you in your life, whether it's a parent or a child or a sibling or friend. And if you had to come up with $1,250 tomorrow, or they would die or, go to jail or whatever it was, how quickly would you be able to find that money? Now that's what desire is. That's how they describe desire to me. And that's still a pretty good description, I guess. Desire, that passion. You would do anything to have that object. And for $25, that's the price of a movie, and just popcorn and pop and a movie. And that's $25 right there. Why not invest that in yourself and start enriching yourself? And you don't even, I shouldn't say that you don't have to read books like Think and Grow Rich or Florence Scovel Shinn and The Game of Life and How to Play It, or my friend and business associates Lisa Kidder has, because Florence Scovel Shinn's book was written in 1920 or in the 20s. She has renewed that book, or kind of renewed, I guess, into the 21st century, updated it, I guess. So it's called The Game of Life for the New Millennium. Anyways, I just want to encourage you to get started with Empower Network. If you have the desire to change your life from what you're getting right now. Once again, below this video, click on the words, create your own future here, and do it now.